Hello YouTube, here's a video on how to trust yourself and build real self-confidence. I'm mainly focused on how to trust yourself, and this is a nice article from Brian Tracy International. Okay, so self-trust is defined in this article. Let's see. They also have multiple videos in here. Okay, what is self-trust? Self-trust means you have a good relationship with yourself. You trust yourself and your inner voice. Instead of constantly feeling anxious, you tend to feel calmer and at peace. Here's a word that keeps showing up whenever I search for self-trust is the ability to make a decision on your own. So keep that in mind. Self-trust and making decisions are intertwined. So if you find yourself being anxious and always wanting to get permission from others, instead of trusting your intuition or gut feelings, or if you tend to like not set clear boundaries and always say yes to whatever requests people have of you, then you need more self-trust. Okay. Self-trust and self-confidence are important because you'll be able to make good decisions, you'll play to your strengths, you feel more at peace and you'll have less anxiety. Others will gravitate towards your healthy self-image, your relationships will be healthier, and you'll communicate better. You'll have a stronger voice, and you'll feel ready and excited about new opportunities. So the reason why I'm talking about self-trust in the workplace series is because you need confidence, communication skills, good boundaries, leadership, all that employers desire in their employees are the characteristics that those who trust themselves have. And here's a good list of reasons why you might not trust yourself. These are some examples, so you'll have your own list. Let's see, for me, I looked up self-trust because I noticed how every decision, from like, which video to watch on YouTube or how to spend my time, kind of took longer for me because I felt like, okay, every decision I made, I needed to ask someone else. I needed to get an okay from someone else. So you might have similar reasons why this might resonate with you. Reasons why you might not trust yourself: you always second guess your decisions, from like the smallest decisions like what to wear that day or whether to wear makeup or not or whatever, to, decisions like, oh, should I sign up for this bank account or timeshare or whatever, you trust others' opinions more than you trust your own. You're scared of other people's opinions and what they'll say about you. Oh, if I do this or wear this, what's so and so gonna think? You don't tell the truth. If you don't have self-confidence, then it's more likely than that you'd have to lie, because there's like large sections of society I've learned that they would rather be lied to than be told the truth if it means the truth is not what they want to hear. So they'd rather you lie to their face. Anyways, let's see. The other one, you think everyone else is better than you. You have this like voice, this evil voice that keeps telling you all these bad things about yourself. You break promises to others and to yourself. This is the most important part, breaking promises to yourself. Meaning, this matters when it comes to goal setting, because goal setting is basically making promises to yourself. And if you made a plan, put it in your calendar to, let's say, study computer science or algorithm, practice more on ChatGPT, and somehow other to-dos keep coming up and you end up basically cleaning the house instead of doing what you promised yourself. You constantly seek reassurance from others. So if you have more self-respect and self-confidence, you will be self-assured. You go along with what everyone else wants instead of speaking up. One example is, an example that comes up in my mind is like a Key and Peele sketch of like their wives would always suggest something and blame their husbands about like, oh, I wanted this but you want this, like what restaurant do you want to go to, and then they would say no to everything except for what they really wanted from in the first place. So they could have saved energy and time by just saying what they wanted. You focus on your weaknesses and failures instead of your strengths and achievements. A way to battle this point is to have a journal and write down everything that you have accomplished that day. And then by the end of the year, you'll have a long list of things that you can be proud of. And also you can ask those, who care and love you, what they admire about you. And you can add that to your strength. You feel the need to be in control at all times. And but this kind of goes against the whole, you need to feel like you need to get permission from others. So if you feel like you need to be in control at all times, but you need to find consensus from everyone around you, it's going to be a really difficult time. And your need to be in control at all times, plus the need to have everyone around you comfortable at your expense and to give you permission for every little thing, that ends up with anxiety and depression. You minimize your needs. You self-talk, the negative self-talk. You feel anxious and worried. and tend to overthink everything. That speaks to what I said about feeling the need to be in control at all times, although you also, always second guess your decisions, so it's kind of against each other. You don't feel that you are valuable or worthy, which means if you don't feel valuable or worthy, it means your subconscious is always putting you down. That feeds into this whole negative voice, and this whole trying to be in control at all times is to it feeds into this valuable or worthy feeling, because it's hard to be in control at all times, and if you lose control at any time, then it feeds into you not feeling worthy. Okay, 14 ways to learn how to trust yourself. Don't be afraid of vulnerability. For me, this part suggests that you practice vulnerability with others, but I would stress vulnerability with yourself. That involves, the whole journaling and shadow work, because the most important thing as far as communication, vulnerability, self-esteem, everything is you need to know yourself. You need to know what you're good at, what you are struggling with, before you show vulnerability with others, because being vulnerable to others who do not value vulnerability, especially in the West, it will feed the bullies. So be careful with this advice. Set and keep boundaries. This is important. Don't be afraid to say no to others. You can always put it in a nice way, of course, but you can practice. That's one of the things that I use ChatGPT for, because it has a way of putting things in a flowery, soupy, syrupy way. So if, for instance, I get contacted by a recruiter, but I do not want that job or that offer, then I will ask ChatGPT to put it in a nice way that I'm not looking. It'll say, oh, I am not looking for this opportunity at the moment, blah, blah. Okay. Define your core life values. So this here, it suggests you can look up online for different values that people list out, and you can pick those that speak to you. Your values are basically things that you don't want to, without it, you will feel uncomfortable. For me, for example, I value kindness. I value comfort, physical, emotional, comfort, patience, kindness, clear, transparent communication, and others as well. So defining your core values will be like a guide for how to respond to different questions people might have. I value my comfort, which means I value clear boundaries. If you set those values, then you will, it's kind of like your own 10 commandments, if for those of you who are in the Judeo-Christian faith background, you will know what that means. Okay, replace negative self-talk. The negative self-talk, that involves shadow work. That's what I'm talking about with, like journaling, writing down everything you're feeling, even if it sounds immoral. Because that's your subconscious, that's your inner child trying to express itself. And if your inner child feels like it's being heard, then it's less likely to act up and tell you these evil things or mean things. You're supposed to befriend your inner child or your inner shadow so that it will tell you good things instead of, I'm not good at anything. It'll tell you, oh, I struggle with this, but I'm getting better at it and I will be better next time. Listen to your intuition. That's the gut feeling you have. And according to researchers, this happens because our brain analyzes our past experiences, ourself, and our environment to quickly make a decision. And that is basically your intuition. It's like a combination of your experiences and your environment. Identify and meet your own needs. Oh, and another thing to add about your intuition is your intuition is basically your subconscious, which has recorded everything that you've gone through. It's your inner child telling you, okay, do this or do that, trust it, or oh, it's scary, or then it's best to go along with your inner child, or again, it'll act up and make you do weird things. Identify and meet your own needs. Look up Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's basic needs at the bottom, and then at the top is self-actualization. It's a triangle. Ask yourself, are you thirsty or sleepy or hungry? Then if you are, go and meet those needs. If you're tired, take a rest, take a break. Redefine personal success. Everyone has a different definition of success. And you'll have to, like writing down your core values will help you with redefining your personal success, because if you value money or personal relationships, then it will feed into what you feel is successful. So if you value having a certain number of friends, close friends that you trust, then having that number of friends would mean success. And that definition is not always going to meet people's expectation of you. It's not going to necessarily have people, admire or respect you, but the most important thing is to admire and respect yourself, right? And then set SMART goals. That's another advice on how to trust yourself. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. When you set goals, it's supposed to be realistic or relevant. It's going to have to be limited as far as time. Achievable, it needs to be realistic, measurable, so You know, if you want to have 5 close friends, then, you know, you will know you've met that goal through that number. And specific means, you know, basically, also this is a good way of manifesting is when you ask the universe for something, you need to be specific. Or you will get something that is close to, or it meets your requirements or demands, but it's not exactly what you want. So write those things down. Your goals might be related to your career or work performance, finances, physical or mental health, personal life, relationships, hobbies, habits, etc. Make a list of your strengths. And here is something you can keep, like a folder or a notebook of, oh, what did I accomplish today? I like when I was at work, I would put down the agenda for a meeting with my manager, for instance, and then I would write down what the manager said I did well, manager or mentor, and that goes in my file of strengths. You can call it different things. On my previous corporate job, they called it Love Me file. Okay. And the list of strengths is like strengths and accomplishments is what you would give your manager for your quarterly or year-end evaluation. Embrace imperfection. So practice makes progress. And, you know, we seek perfection to feel safe. So embrace imperfection by, you know, ensuring that your inner child feels safe. And the way to do that is to set your boundaries and keep them. To set smart goals and focus on them. Don't be distracted. Then you're gonna keep, your inner child will be less likely to want to control everything. Take yourself on a date. Do fun things by yourself. You don't need to have a partner or friends. Be yourself. You know, with the caveat, you know, what I mentioned before. For myself, like, I've experienced a lot of bullying in grade school and even, you know, in my 30s, online and in person. And I feel that's because I was being vulnerable with strangers who didn't deserve it. And I was being myself. I'm quirky, quote unquote weird, and people feel uneasy about it and give you different labels. So yeah, be yourself to yourself and to those who you trust and where you feel safe, right? Don't question your decisions. Feeds into everything we've talked about before. Here they have a trust model, which stands for transparency, respect, understand, shared success, test assumptions. These 5 building blocks help you reach a place of trust. While it was originally designed to help you work better with others, you can apply each step to yourself too. For instance, be honest and transparent with yourself, respect yourself and your abilities, understand your reality and why you might feel the way you do, look for a win-win solution that uplifts others up to and don't make things up. Focus on reality and on the truth. Focusing on reality will also help you with not assuming. Like, there's this phrase called assume positive intent, and which means basically when people say something to you, you should assume positive intent until it becomes super obvious that, okay, maybe their intention is not the best for you, and it'll keep you in a good working relationships with others. And also, this is a good way of relating with your inner child as well. Helping others trust you. Basically, you help others trust you by honoring your commitments. Do what you say that you would do by the time you said that you would do them. Be honest, don't lie. Communicate well. Be transparent, be kind and courteous, listen well to others, always be respectful, keep your commitments, see and call out the best in others, ask for feedback, accept it and implement it. Reap the benefits of self-trust. And they have a template and all that stuff. I will leave the link in the description box. Hopefully this was helpful. There's definitely things you can do to help you trust yourself. It requires constant practice for those who, due to different things that have happened to us, we might have lost trust for ourselves. So thanks for tuning in, and please like, share, subscribe. Bye.